you looking at? You'll have to excuse the background noise, there's a lot of jackhammers going on. I'm just hoping they're going to repair the roads around here. Anyway, I'm starting off by these climbing roses today because one or two people said, well, if you don't like the climbing roses, why don't you get rid of them? Here's the thing, I'm not the only person who lives in this house, and maybe the other person who lives in this house, who happens to be my husband, quite likes them. So the reason that they are in my garden at all is because of this strange concept called compromise. Now maybe you've heard of it, but if you haven't, I suggest you find out about it and take a long, hard look at your life. You know, sometimes I feel that I'm part of a rapidly shrinking minority of people who understand that they're not the most important thing in the universe. I blame it on Web 2.0, which allows people to post anything they like on the internet, and somehow they believe that that's the most important thing that's ever been said. And if anybody dares to disagree with them, well, don't they know who I am? I am Titli centre of the cosmos. There's actually quite a few people I'd love to throw into the total perspective vortex. But anyway, on with the gardening. I think while I'm down this end of the garden, I'm just going to turn the soil over here. It's quite damp and soggy and horrible, but if I can help it to drain a bit, I'm digging quite deep here, turn it over, then maybe it'll be in good shape later this year when I actually want to plant something in it. There we are, it only took me 5 seconds. I've left a couple of things in this bed. I've left one of the 2 remaining rather sad looking cauliflower plants that I planted in the autumn last year, and this onion plant. Didn't realise I hadn't picked them all. So let's do this bed as well. Give it a dig over. Oh, it's soggy. There we are. Doesn't take long at all when you put your mind to it. I really need to do something like this all round the garden, mainly to help the ground drain a bit, because it's official. We've had the wettest winter since records began, and here in Wales we've had 2 feet of rain. That's almost twice what we normally get. I think after all that energy, I'm going to do a bit more pruning. So my Philadelphus mock orange needs a bit of a prune. Gone a bit crazy. So I'm going to actually give it quite a decent prune again this year. Do 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 do. There we are, it's a bit better. By the way, there is one final thing I want to say on the subject of compromise. In a successful relationship, both sides make compromises, give and take and all that. But if it turns out that only one side is doing all the compromising, well, either they're a doormat or they're being bullied. I need to go over there. Now the next thing I'll do is trim my fuchsias. And this year I'm not going to cut them all the way down to the ground because there's actually some buds on here. So I'm going to cut them down probably to about 5 or 6 buds on each stem. Normally I cut these right down to the ground, but the sap is rising. Take advantage of that. Well, I'm interested to see how this works out this year. I've never left the stalks in before. I also need to do something with this jasmine, which has gone a bit mental. Do 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 do. I'll also feed some of these into this trellis. They're quite flexible, so it's quite easy to do. I'm also going to take out some of the older shoots as well. Right, Well, I think I can work with this. Just these last two very long pieces. I think that'll do. So, this here tree needs a bit of a prune. Not least of all because things like this, I keep bumping into them. So, I think what I'm going to do sounds a bit drastic. But I'm going to take out a lot of these lower branches. I might even take this one out altogether. Maybe just leave that little bit there. Right, this is going to get mean. Diddy-diddy-diddy. Ka-chunk. And this here, ka-chunk. Oh yes, we're looking better already. And snippety snippety snip. Thank you. Every now and again it helps to stand back and look for twigs that you want to take out. Like there's a couple here that are kind of pointing off into space. So I'll take those out. My ultra long tree lopper. Pop. One down. Two down. Now I've got my lopper stuck. There we go. And there's another one round the side here. You might be able to see it from where the camera is, but I can from this side. Let's take that out. Right, I think I'm done for this year. Right, and the last thing I'm going to plant up today are some leeks. It's a good time of year to be planting leeks. I'm going to start mine off indoors. It's been dry for about 6 days now, and the sun's been out for some of that time as well. So the grass is actually quite dry. So I'm going to give it its first cut of the year. To you, Flymo, I shan't be buying any of your lawnmowers again. Well, that's it for this week. The wind's getting up a bit. I can see the sky starting to change. I think there's a weather front moving in. Maybe some rain later on. Ooh, it's getting quite breezy. So next week I'm going to start tackling some of the beds and think about what I want to plant in the garden this year. So my final message to you is, if you don't have any, get some compromise in your life. You may not get everything you want, but you'll get much more than you bargained for. Thanks for watching, and do join me next time in Titli's busy garden.